Good morning, everyone. And again, hope you're keeping okay. And please do get in touch if you've got any problems or if you need any help with anything. We are here for you, so please do let us know. We're back in the Psalms for our devotions. We started yesterday in Psalm 1, and we're going to read Psalm 2 together this morning. This is what it says. Why do the nations rage and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, "Let us burst their bonds apart and cast away their cords from us." He who sits in the heavens laughs. The Lord holds them in derision. Then he will speak to them in his wrath and terrify them in his fury, saying, "As for me, I have set my king on Zion, my holy hill. I will tell of the decree. The Lord said to me, 'You are my son. Today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will make the nations your heritage and the ends of the earth your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron and dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel.' Now therefore, O kings, be wise. Be warned, O rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son lest he be angry and you perish in the way. For his wrath is quickly kindled. Blessed are all who take refuge in him." We've commented before in these devotions how one of the things that this virus has done in our world is to shatter any illusions of power or control. No one, it seems, is exempt from the potential effects of this virus, including prime ministers, and this morning we read that there are cases even in the White House among the staff. This virus is making any claims of ultimate power, ultimate control seem absurd. Global society, economy, brought low by an organism so tiny that we can't even see it without a powerful microscope. Cities silenced and deserted. Centres of power and influence, New York, London, Paris, quiet, full of empty streets. And we see how devastating an impact this tiny little thing has had. In Psalm 2, the psalmist depicts cultures and societies and governments all seeking to be free of God's rule, seeking to burst the bonds, seeking to throw off what they see as the shackles of God's rule in their lives. It's exactly what Adam and Eve were tempted to do in the garden: throw off the bonds, throw off the supposed shackles, not realizing that in fact God's boundaries, God's rules were for their best. And as these societies, these governments, these cultures seek to throw off God's rule, what does God do? He laughs at them. The very idea that we could break free of the all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving God is ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. And when we pull back the curtain of history and we see the throne and we see the Ancient of Days sitting on it, as we get to see in books like Revelation and books like Daniel, it becomes obvious how ridiculous this idea is. God's king is on the throne. That's what the psalmist is saying here. And when God has placed his king on the throne, there is nothing that the kings of the earth can do. In the book of Revelation, towards the end, the kings of the earth gather for battle against God and his anointed one. And the battle never takes place, because on the very first sight of God's anointed king, the rulers fall apart. The reality is that this king is terrifying if you reject him, but he is incredibly comforting for all who take refuge in him. He is the one constant. He is the one consistent thing, the one person we can trust, depend on, rely on through all of this apparent confusion and chaos and uncertainty. We can depend on him through it all, through the storm. He is the anchor. And so look to him today. Trust in him today. Seek refuge in him. Read his word. Pray. Draw close. And allow him to draw you into himself. To find your safety. To find your confidence. To find your comfort in him. I hope you'll do that today. He is the King. And he longs to bring you in and to comfort you and to give you that sense of refuge and peace in the midst of trouble. Take care. God bless.